Hey guys, and today I'm gonna teach you how to the basics of building a Pokemon card deck. So, first thing you want to do is obviously have stuff like your Pokemon, but it's not just about getting a Pokemon card and playing it down. That's not how decks work. First, let's talk about evolutions. So, evolving a Pokemon, like let's say you have this Garbodor card. And you say, I want to play this immediately. You cannot play it immediately. You need its previous form. Trubbish, if you can see that well. And so first you had to play your Trubbish card. But then, you want to play your Garbodor card as soon as you play your Trubbish. You have to wait at least one turn to place it on your Trubbish. Because if you play it immediately, that's not how the game works. Also, another fact, you cannot evolve two Pokemon in one turn. Only if a specific card says that, but if you want to evolve like two Trubbish and two Garbodors in the same turn, you cannot do that. You physically cannot, because that's basically the rules of the game. Just to make it fair, and so you don't get like 5 VMAXs in one turn. Alright, so next I want to talk about how many cards you should keep in your deck. So we have a few of these Zoras and Zorax. Now, usually if you want to keep at least 2 or 3 basics and 1 evolution or 2 from the Pokemon in a deck. So usually, like let's say you keep 2 Zoras and a Zorak. The reason is, you can still use one, like let's say 1 Trubbish and 1 Garbodor, but the reason is, because if like one of your Zoras get knocked out, the other Zora can fill in the place and evolve into Zorak. That's why you want to keep multiple Pokemon in your deck. Alright, so next I want to talk about V cards, like this Gengar. So, at the bottom of a V card, it tells you what happens when your V gets knocked out. So, if a Pokemon V or GX gets knocked out, or EX, the enemy gets to draw prize cards. Let me tell you about prize cards. So prize cards, at the beginning of each game, you'll pick 6 cards from your deck. Do not look at them. Make sure your enemy's not looking at them, and place those cards down in a pile or a stack, however you want to do it. 6 cards. Every time you knock out one enemy Pokemon like this, take a prize card. And the game ends basically if you run out of cards in your deck, or you take all your prize cards, or the enemy forfeits. So let me talk about energies. Now, you might notice energies and you get a bunch of them. You're like, these are useless. I do not know what to do with them. Well, let me talk about energies quickly. So you see these attacks next to the Pokemon and how they vary, like poisonous gas, sludge bomb. They have different energy requirements. So let's take a look at the Garbodor. So poisonous gas requires 1 black energy or dark energy, matching the dark type. Meaning you have to use 1 dark energy to use the attack. Now the attack does not say discard energy. If it says discard this amount of energy from your Pokemon, do it, because you're following the attack's rules. But basically, if you attach an energy to the Pokemon, it's on there for good, unless you have a card, something to switch it out, or an attack decides to take it off. So let's say one of your cards says like a Rock Blast or something like that, and it says discard 2 fighting energies from your Pokemon. That means you put them in the discard pile. This means the cards are out, and you cannot use them unless you have a special card that tells you. Now, there's also this thing called the Lost Zone, which you place cards in it, and you cannot get them out, even if the card says so. So they're permanently unusable until the end of the game. So you basically need energies to use attacks and other stuff, right? So you're like, I have energies and Pokemon cards. I can build a deck. No, you're not done yet. Building a deck requires 3 types of cards. Let me get them. It requires Pokemon, energies, and support cards. let me explain a bit about support cards. So support cards, let's say you pull a hop or howl card out. Well, support cards help you during the game. Like, first there are item cards, which are a type of support card and trainer card. Well, a trainer card. The trainer card is a support card. Sorry. So basically you play like a howl card or a hop card. If it says supporter in the top right corner, that means you can only use one of them a turn, unless a different card says you can use multiple. And then there are the item cards, which are also a type of a trainer card. And you can use multiple item cards per turn. It doesn't matter how much. Then we have this farewell bell. Look at it, right? You notice it says Pokemon tool at the bottom. Unlike this nugget. Well, Pokemon tool means you attach it to a Pokemon and its effect will work. Some of them work once and they're discarded, and some of them don't. And then you have your protective sleeves to protect your cards and stuff. And there are a few other things, like damage dice. 20, 30, 40, 50, like, place that on a Pokemon to so much damage it took in. Like this Rhyhorn. Let's say this Melmetal used its headbutt attack on it. Rhyhorn takes 20 damage, so put this 20 on the dice, like right up here. There's a 20 up here. Now, let's say one of the Pokemon have this little weakness thing. Weakness means how much weak. Like, let's say a grass type Pokemon used an attack on it that would normally do like 20 damage, and the enemy Pokemon that is trying to hit has a weakness of the same type. So basically, if the enemy Pokemon's weak to grass and your Pokemon is a grass, it does double damage. So instead of a 20 damage, it's gonna do a 40 damage. And then you have retreat. So retreat means how many energies you need to use to retreat. So let's say your Rhyhorn or something's low and you want to save it for something else. To retreat, you have to have two. These mean any color energy. Same for the attacks. Any color energy is required, and a certain color energy is a certain color energy is required. Like fighting is required, and any color energy is required. Now you may see a normal energy, but those are rare, and those are just used for anything. They can be used to replace the fighting energy and stuff. But retreat, this means like 2 of any energy to retreat. That means to take your Pokemon out of battle, you have to discard 2 energies or something. Then you can retreat it back. Some attacks do have all different effects. Some of them don't. But there are also a few different kinds of cards. Like, let me show a few to you. Let me get them. So if you get the new Fusion Strike or Rapid Strike packs, you would get these Fusion Strike or Rapid Strike cards. They're basically like special sub-series, and some of the Pokemon like that have effects that can benefit only Single Strike or Rapid Strike Pokemon. Oh, look, let me get one. Where is it? Huh. There are a few. I'm trying to find one. Like this. Like, they have special abilities that your opponent's Single Strike Pokemon cannot attack. Fusion Strike, see? Pretty decent. And then you have your Pokemon VMAXs. They each have certain rules. VMAXs, the enemy takes 3 prize cards, and Vs take 2. So, basically, if the enemy knocks a V out, they take 2 cards, 2 prize cards. If they knock out a regular one, they take 1. So, let me talk about how each deck works. So, there are 2 different kinds of decks for Pokemon. First is the training decks. Like back when the Sun and Moon were out, you would have these training decks. They would have about 30 cards each. And there would usually be 2 in a pack. Training decks are basically a way shorter version to play the Pokemon game with easier strategies and stuff to follow. And then you have your regular 60 card decks. like these over here, 60 card decks, right? You may think this is like 120 or something, but it's a 60 card. It's just sleeves make up the title. But 60 card decks are usually how standard play the Pokemon game. You have your also poison and burn counters, which show if a Pokemon's poisoned or burn or something like that. And you have your coins to flip if an attack says so. Like this Kangaskhan. Flip a coin, if heads, this attack does 100 more damage. And Pokemon's really strategizing. Also, if you're using any cards that like have a GX or EX, a special move like that, you can only use that move once an entire game. So if you have like 2 GXs and use both of the moves, you cannot do that. You can only use 1 GX attack in an entire game. Anyways, I hope you guys find this useful. And I actually have a few recommendations to help you get started. So, you can either buy a deck from stores for like $15, or you can buy an Elite Trainer box. $50, I got this one for $30 at Sam's Club. But they have about 8 packs, which 80 Pokemon cards. 45 energies guaranteed. Well, not in packs, but just 45 bonus energies. And a bunch of sleeves, so you can already make a basic deck with a Fusion Strike box. That's actually what I did for my Vanillite deck and a few other decks here. I hope you guys found this interesting, and I hope you guys decide to make Pokemon decks. And tell me what Pokemon is your favorite. And tell me what cards are in your deck. And if Ben's watching this, please find this useful. Because I'm trying to make this for my friend Ben. His channel, his name used to be Xen. I forgot the channel name, but I'm gonna check it like right after this. But I want to do like Pokemon card matches with you and Jordan, I guess. And I hope you guys know how to play the card game. That's about it. Anyways, you can Coach Bat signing out.